Hey everybody, welcome to a special reading of the AGAIAC rules. I'm Chance the Scaper. Today I'm going to go over the overview as well as the Dutch Aquascape rules. I'm just going to be reading them verbatim directly from the website. I will have a link in the description to where you guys can click and go read these yourself. The reason why I'm doing this is I really want to encourage more people, primarily US, to compete in this competition. This competition, as well as all the other competitions, really stand forward to boost the hobby and to showcase the work and art that is available in this world. And it's nice because people see this stuff. And I deal with a lot of people in the store on a day-to-day basis who see these works of art and want to get involved. And they may not know how to get involved. And not everybody can, go through and read these rules and comprehend it. Some people are auditory learners, and I can respect that 100%. So I'm going to go through and read this general guidelines as well as the Dutch Aquascape category first, and we'll cover some other ones in another video. So let's go. General guidelines. The AGA Aquascaping contest is primarily a friendly way for hobbyists to share their aquascaping efforts with each other and learn better techniques through the display and evaluation of those efforts. The contest will also allow hobbyists to compete for awards. This event is open to all hobbyists regardless of age, national origin, or degree of experience in the hobby. Overview. The primary focus of this event on aquascaping is freshwater aquaria. Brackish and marine aquaria will be acceptable only in the biotope category. Each aquascape is entered and judged in one and only one of the following categories: aquatic garden, Dutch aquascape, biotope aquascape, paludarium, wabikusa, and riparium. All but one of the categories require that the aquascaper use live plants in their aquascape. The biotope aquascape category is reserved for aquariums that are attempting to recreate a particular natural environment, and as such will be judged accordingly. Biotopes may not include plants, but should be made of primary natural materials. Each aquascaper will need to 1. Complete a form with a small amount of personal information, including their real legal name, city, and country. Agree to the photo release. Supply basic information for each aquascape. Maximum 3 aquascapes per aquascaper. Upload photographs 1 to 3 per aquascape. Each aquascaper may submit a maximum of 3 aquascapes per year across all categories. Attempts to enter more than 3 aquascapes or using multiple accounts result in immediate disqualification of all aquascapes. Only 1 aquascape per physical aquarium is allowed. This means that if you change the same aquarium multiple times, whether it be a full rescape or just a single plant change, you may only submit 1 aquascape from that aquarium this year. The aquascape dimensions should be reported from the bottom of the aquarium up to the water line. So for example, 60 centimeter wide by 40 centimeter deep by 40 centimeter high would have a volume of 96 liters. But if it's only filled up to 30 centimeter, then it should be reported as 60 centimeter, 40 centimeter by 30 centimeter, and its volume as 72 liters. For aquariums with non-square dimensions, make your best approximation. Aquascapers need to have created this in the past year. However, if you have already entered the aquascape in previous AGA or other contests, the new photographs taken in the last year must be used. Disqualified aquascapes may not be re-entered in subsequent years. Aquascapers are forbidden to ask advice or show aquascape photos to members of the AGA Board of Directors or current contest judges. The first offense will result in a warning, and second offense can result in disqualification of the aquascape. Continued attempts to contact members of the AGA Board of Directors or judges will be considered an attempt to influence the aquascape's score and result in banning the aquascaper from the contest for that calendar year. Aquascapers are asked not to include personal identifying information on the aquascape text fields and photographs. The contest committee reserves the right to remove any inappropriate identifying information. Further questions may be answered by the organizers at support@agaiac.org. Judging and awards. Judging will be conducted with each aquascape identified only by a number, i.e. the judges will not know the identity of the person whose aquascape they are considering. Judges do not communicate with each other when scoring each aquascape. Within each category, each judge's ranking, not raw score for the aquascapes, will be harmonically averaged to determine the overall placing of aquascapes within this category. Awards first, second, and third place will be given to the 3 highest placed aquascapes. Overall placings 4 through 10 be acknowledged as top 10, present in the aquarium volume order, not placing order. There is no monetary or physical reward for top 10. It is a bragging rights award only. After the winners are tabulated, the judges will also choose by vote the best of show aquascape from the aquatic garden categories, and most innovative aquascape from all categories. They will communicate with each other over this decision. Judges are asked to provide feedback on the qualities of each aquascape in the contest. These comments will be placed on the website associated with the appropriate aquascapes. After the winners are announced, judges may be available at their discretion on the AGA Facebook group where aquascapers can post a photo and request commentary. The decisions of the judges are final. Photo requirements. In summary, 1 to 3 photos, highest resolution possible, limited editing only, no cloning, compositing, smudging, or other effects. Camera original image must also be provided. No identifying burn-ins, no borders or frames, no collages, multiple shots in same image, no photos of people or selfies. The aquascaper is requested to provide 1 to 3 images of each aquascape, the primary image for the entering being a direct full view, then additional photos ideally showing overall views and close-ups of details they wish to highlight. While the focus of this event is on the aquascape shown in the images, the aquascaper is encouraged to try to provide the clearest, sharpest images possible. The better the images that are provided, the better they will reproduce and display. The website currently only accepts JPEG images, but there is no size or quality limit. You don't have to do this right now. You don't. Neither one of you do. We can go. Stop. Hi. Alright. The aquascaper may alter an image only for color correction, lens and distortion correction, rotation, brightness, shadow highlight, contrast, and/or sharpness. HDR filtering is also permitted. Any modification that effectively alters the content of original image is grounds for immediate disqualification. Such alterations include, but are not limited to, cloning elements of the image to remove an imperfection or improve the appearance. Example, retouching a small snail or a piece of algae. Selectively compositing multiple images to improve the overall image. Creating a perfect shot of a school of fish from different photographs. Selectively coloring areas of the aquascape with a transparent solid color to artificially enhance the color of plants. Selectively blacking out the background to hide equipment and/or other flaws. In order for the contest to be fair to all aquascapers, we require the upload of the camera original of the main photograph. The camera original will not be seen by the judges, only used to verify the authenticity of the final image. All aquascapers not submitting the camera original are subject to disqualification. Many aquascapers feel the need to add large frame borders around their photographs. This detracts from the image by making it scale smaller than others. In all likelihood, we will just remove the border. Please save us the work and submit all images borderless. Images submitted should not have the photographer's name or copyright notice superimposed over the image. Images should not include the aquascaper or other people in the picture, aka a selfie. Judging needs to be anonymous, and this information could affect the impartial evaluation of aquascapes. We will add a copyright burn-in the final website. When submitting an entry, all aquascapers agree to a photo release. The AGAIAC and Aquatic Gardeners Association, AGA, reserve the rights to use images submitted for contest promotional purposes in digital and print format. The AGA will not sell or use images for any other purposes. So I'm going to now read the Dutch Aquascape category rules. This is a category that's very close to my heart. I love Dutch aquascaping more so than any of the other categories, primarily because of how the rules are. It's a really cool contest, and it really makes you think and know your plants. So it's an awesome combination of art brain and science brain. Dutch Aquascape. Vin Cuddy has written a quick style guide for beginners that will help clarify what is and is not a Dutch style aquascape. I definitely recommend you check that out. That's the only interjection I'll have in this whole thing. It's like, if you are curious, Vin Cuddy's article, you should read it. Dutch judging breakdown. Overall impression. Maximum 50 points. Does the aquarium as a whole, plants, fish, and hardscape create a positive visual impact? Do all parts of the aquarium work together to present a harmonious and cohesive whole? Do the plants and animals appear healthy? No hardware should be visible. Composition. Balance, use of space, use of color. Maximum 60 points. Is the aquascape laid out well?
Does the aquarist make good use of differences in color, leaf size and shape and height, growth habit or trimming to maximize contrast between groups of plants? Groups of neighboring plants should clearly be of different heights. Does the aquarist effectively use differences in height and plant group shapes to create sense of flow and depth? Is there a plant streak? If so, is it easily discerned and does it enhance the sense of depth of the aquascape? Are the backs and sides well planted? Do the species plantings enhance or detract from the sense of depth and scale? Traditional NBAT rules dictate the portion of the walls not covered by species in the substrate be planted. Selection and use of plants, hardscape materials, and animals, maximum 50 points. Has the aquarist selected plants appropriately? Traditional NBAT rules dictate the use of no more than one plant species per 10 centimeter / 4 inches of tank length, sometimes up to 2 more species per tank if their use doesn't detract from the aquascape. Judge's discretion. Has the aquarist effectively used a limited number of species? If a specimen plant is used as a focal point, does it blend well with the aquascape or is it overpowering, i.e. does it draw and hold the eye too strongly or is it simply too large? Do the colors, shape, and size of the fish chosen harmonize with the plants? Are schooling fish present in sufficient numbers to make a subtle school? Traditional NBAT rules dictate at least 12 fish per schooling species. If hardscape materials are present, are they used sparingly and stand-alone element? A single piece of wood or a rock may be acceptable according to NBAT rules if it enhances the aquascape. Wood and/or rocks used as structure and mostly covered by epiphytes do not count. Are planted sides and rear panes present or absent? There should be no visible glass except for the front viewing pane. This criteria addresses the presence / absence of planted walls as hardscape design element for clarity. If planted walls are not present or if glass is visible, deduct points. Use of walls should be considered as a part of the composition. Viability of aquascape, maximum 40 points. With appropriate grooming and maintenance, are the plants selected suitable for use in the aquarium if maintained as is for a long period? If visible, are the fish and other animals likely to be too large for the aquarium, cause damage to the aquascape or each other at adult size? And that is the Dutch aquascape rules for the AGAIAC. The link in the description both to the AGA so you can learn more about that, a link in the description about the AGAIAC competition, as well as direct link to the rules. So thank you guys. I hope this helps a little bit. Like I said, sometimes reading the rules yourself, you don't really get it. Reading the rules, hearing them read to you, might help a little bit. I will touch, now that I have read it, I will touch on a few things just so the reading is done. There's a few things in here that I guess could be like expanded on. So when it says here, traditional NBAT rules dictate use of no more than one plant species per 10 centimeters of tank length, sometimes up to 2 more species if it doesn't detract from the aquascape, judge's discretion. So this doesn't mean that you automatically get to use 2 additional species. Just so you know. So that doesn't mean that in your 90 centimeter aquascape, where you should have 9 species of plants, you're automatically allowed to stuff 11 in there. It has to be done tastefully. It has to contribute to your overall composition, like it says. It needs to work well with pretty much everything in there, and sometimes that can be detracting. So it's better to, when you're planning your Dutch aquascape, to really heavily consider that rule when you're planning your plants. That's probably the biggest one. And just to elaborate on what a street is, a Dutch street, that is going to be a grouping of plants that is going to take the viewer's eye into your aquascape. That is going to allow their eye to travel into your scape. That is what a street is. You'll often see it presented as like kind of curving into the scape. Sometimes they can get fancy with it and take it really deep in there. But basically what that's doing is drawing your eye. And that is a prominent thing about a Dutch aquascape. That is like pretty much when you look at a Dutch scape, it's the first thing my eye catches is the Dutch street, because it's alluring. It's very cool to see the way the plants are trimmed and how they cut into everything. So that's very important to throw in there. Rule of thirds, to touch on that, basically you don't want everything to be like, here's a grouping of plants, here's a grouping of plants, and here's a grouping of plants. You kind of want things to go into each other. You want good flowing, groups that kind of connect everything together. Not 3 standalone aquariums. You want it all to blend to one. And that's my input, really. That's it. So I hope, again, this helped. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment, and I will respond right away with anything to help clear it up. Thank you, guys.